So-and-so has such a huge ego and they need to get over themselves. So often we hear people talk about people's egos and how it can take over them. But do we actually know what an ego is? By the end of this video, I believe that I can help you guys understand it a little bit. A lot of us are familiar with that, and we are aware that we have the surface level thinking, which is our conscious thoughts that we are aware of. Whereas the subconscious is not as accessible. That is a lot of stuff that's going on internally that we are really not aware of. Truth be told, a lot of our thinking is actually subconscious. A large majority of our thoughts and our feelings actually come from our subconscious. But that being said, your conscious brain is what holds your ego. And right there shows that that right alone is not a big percentage of who you are. But let's delve a bit deeper into it. But like I mentioned earlier, your conscious self is the stuff that you're aware of, the stuff that you can think and you can hear and you can kind of easily feel, right? So your ego is who your conscious self actually perceives yourself as. It's how you picture yourself as if you were looking at yourself. It's very important to understand that there is a major difference between your personal perception of yourself and the actual reality of yourself. And you have to understand that you only are going to understand yourself to some extent, but at the end of the day, you still are not going to have a full grasp of who you are, especially if you're completely consumed by your ego. A lot of understanding yourself actually begins when you start letting go, when you start clearing up space. Instead of trying to think your way to clarity, the way to get there is actually through silence, by breathing. That's why meditation is so important, because what you're essentially doing is you are consciously slowing down the thought process that's going on in your brain to a point where that conscious brain's not taking over as much, and you're actually more connected to your subconscious. And your subconscious is a lot more connected to what you're meant to do. I can promise you guys that. I really believe that your conscious thoughts are a lot of overthinking, a lot of reactions, a lot of short-term feelings. And that's oftentimes what people act on that when it comes to their ego. And in a weird way, the ego almost has a life to itself because it feels like that's who you are, but it's actually not. And you are able to strip that away from yourself and still be who you are and probably a clearer version of yourself. This is a lot. I know this is very deep stuff. It might not land with some of you guys. I'm totally aware of that, but I hope that it does land with some of you because I really believe that this stuff is super, super real. My big takeaway to you guys is that your ego is who your conscious brain thinks you are, and that's not who you really are. And sometimes that ego can be tricking you and telling you that you're way better than you think you are, or sometimes that ego can really be beating you up, make you feel like you're way worse than you actually are. Regardless of what it is, the best thing you can do is just stop identifying with that. Stop identifying with your conscious self. Stop identifying with your ego and tap more into your subconscious. And the way that you're able to tap into your subconscious is by creating space. And time after time, we all talk about meditation is one of the easiest ways to do it. My advice to you guys is meditation is not one size fits all. It does not have to be you are just sitting, breathing with your eyes closed. I love meditating while I stretch. I love meditating while I walk. I love just sitting out in nature and meditating. So really find a way that works for you. You could dance and meditate. I do not judge. But if you are breathing and you can feel that streamline of thoughts in your brain kind of slow down, you're doing something right. And also, to anyone who's new to meditation, first few times doing it, you're going to get done your session and ask yourself, did I even do anything? Did I even do anything right? That's how you know you're doing it right. Okay? Thank you guys so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. I hope someone out there found this video insightful or helpful or anything like that. Thanks, guys. Please go ahead and have a wonderful rest of your day. Peace!